Hello everybody, this is Fronto Bobbin here, and this is what came of the biggest snowflake of a racing league owner ever. In this video, I'll be telling you the aftermath of the video and what's to change for the future. You'll also notice that I'm not talking in front of a camera this time. That's because I'm reading a script for this video. I'm doing this so I don't forget any important information. Anyway, let's get this started. I'm actually going to be starting the story from when I recorded the video itself, which was Friday the 19th. And I'll also explain what my plan was. At this point, Jay had blocked me on all of my main social media accounts, so I created another alternative one on Twitter to get Jay's attention. My plan was to release the video on Monday and then send the video link to Jay to trigger whatever would happen next. After I finished recording the video, I downloaded the video to my computer and started editing the video until I ran out of time. I managed to finish editing the video Sunday night, and was ready to get the show on the road come Monday. However, that changed when the news came out in the world of NASCAR that had to do with the news. I went on my alternative account to see what Jay was tweeting, and he was just as outraged as everyone about it. I figured that Jay would also be mad if I released the video and sent him the link, and it would make him even more mad than he already was if I sent said link. In the end, I decided to wait until Tuesday to go through with my plan. I thought it was going too far to take away from something serious for something silly. Then I decided to wait until Thursday because I had a party to attend to on Wednesday. And in case the reaction of my initial trigger caused the next sequence of events to go on for more than a day, I couldn't be distracted by whatever was happening while I was at the party. Now we get into Wednesday night. What's nice about this is that Domtron didn't even have to say a single word, and he didn't, and the features of Steam and Discord did all the talking. For about 3 hours straight, Domtron had set his Discord status to Do Not Disturb, and Steam was showing that Domtron was playing NASCAR 15. This is what usually happens when Domtron is running a race in the league. Or in this case, they're running 3 races in a row. Usually when this happens, I try and fail to not think about it. However, on this occasion, it showed Domtron's true colors. Up to this point, Domtron had not said a single word to me or Russell. Usually when Domtron goes for a long period of time without saying a single word, it's either because he's busy, or being lazy, or incompetent. However, this time, that wasn't the case at all. To add some context, after how Jay raged at me and how selfish I was for telling Jay to speed things up on Thursday the 18th, I would think that Domtron would spend some time away from both of us. He did spend some time away from me, but not Jay, and the display that he showed on that Wednesday night showed me that nothing that I said to him mattered, and the most important thing to him was that he was racing in the league. It showed me that he was in favor of that league over our group. It showed me that Jay could do no wrong in Domtron's eyes, and that Domtron was standing Jay. This really had me going, and I was more ready than ever to possibly cancel Jay and take back control. I woke up Thursday morning ready to get down to business. Nothing to postpone my plan any longer. It was time. I was hesitant at first, but I was able to get myself to release the video and send the link to Jay. I actually sent the link to a few guys. I sent it to Jay because that was my plan in the first place. I sent it to Domtron to maybe get him talking as well, and I sent it to Russell because he was curious to see it. By the way, Russell was getting a good kick out of the situation and wanted to see what would happen next. However, here are the included messages that I sent with the link to Jay and Domtron. First to Jay. We had an agreement, you decided to stop agreeing, so that gives me the right to do this. And then to Domtron. I know you're not super busy. If you have all the time in the world to be with Jay, then you have no excuses for not responding to us in Top Gear this past week. You just don't want to. Well, this ought to get you talking. I knew that Jay's response wasn't going to be instantaneous, so I was prepared to possibly spend the whole day doing nothing. I couldn't work on any projects because I'd be too focused on this to concentrate. Sure enough, after less than an hour of waiting, I got what I was waiting for. Here's how the conversation went. "Okay, I'ma go pursue legal charges. Congrats. Like, you can't target people on social media. The fact that you keep making accounts to target me is great. Keep doing it. Just proves the point. Good luck with that. People target each other on social media all they want. It's not a new concept." By the way, I meant to say all the time rather than all they want. I just typed out the letter because I wasn't fully focused on what I was typing. I pretty much let my brain do the typing. "Dude, great vid. Really don't care anymore. Make a video. I don't care. Like, this has gone out of hand. You have created 3 accounts to target me. Like, I just want to be done. It was a just for fun league, but you have made it sucky. If you take the video down, I will stick to the agreement because the championship race is soon. Then you can have Domtron. I'ma have to think if I want Domtron just because of how annoying it is having you bug me all the time. You may have noticed that I'm not reading Jay's messages exactly how I typed them. This is just because I'm cleaning up some of his English to make his messages more understandable. That being said, his grammar isn't very good. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. You want to be done? Release Domtron from your league. That's all I ask. Heck, do it once your championship race is complete. Take the video down. I will think about this until the championship race, then I will tell you what my choice is. I promise to think about it, but on one condition. You remove the video and you never bring up my league and never speak to me again after the championship race. So you gonna take the deal or not? I'm gonna talk to Domtron later today. Okay, how about this? I'll private the video for now. However, once your championship race is complete, I want to hear from you about what your choice is. If you decide to release Domtron from your league, we will never speak to each other again and this whole thing will be over. You can run your league however you want, whenever you want, with no complaints from me, and I can go back to enjoying life. However, if your choice is something else, then I'll decide what to do from there. So yes, I'm taking the deal. Okay. So at this point, me and Jay had come to a mini agreement. I say mini because there was a chance that this agreement could come to an end pretty fast. I then told Domtron this. The video has just been set to private. My main aim with this video was to catch the attention of Jay, and that's exactly what it did nearly an hour after it came out. I DM'd him on Twitter the video link, and he saw it. We then chatted for a little bit back and forth, and came to a mini agreement. Now it was your opportunity to make the situation better or worse. And so began the waiting game once again. However, while I was waiting for Domtron to say something to me, it seemed like Jay had also said something to Domtron. I'll go into further detail about this in a minute. Anyway, the waiting game only lasted another hour before I was interrupted from a YouTube video by a Discord call from Domtron. I knew that Domtron would be upset, so I declined the call and sent him a one-word text message instead saying, "Yes?" I was expecting a response back in the form of a text message, but instead I got a response back in the form of a block. Then Domtron left the Top Gear group on Discord. At this point, I didn't know what this blocking was about. I then tried to get an answer on Facebook, but he blocked me on there and left the Top Gear group there as well. I had no idea what was going on, so I turned to Jay to ask him. I noticed that before Domtron went on his blocking spree, Jay had said this. I told him he was getting released from the league after the championship race. I expect you to keep your end of the bargain. Now here's to hoping we never have contact again. I don't understand. He's blocked me on Discord. What's going on? I don't know. I only said I was releasing him and nothing else. I know, but he's blocked me on Discord and I don't know why. I can't help you there. I literally don't know why. At first, I didn't fully understand what Jay was saying due to his bad grammar. However, I would figure it out soon enough. Then I remembered that I could message Domtron through Hangouts, so I did. Once again, he left the Top Gear groups there, but surprisingly didn't block me there straight away. This allowed me to say this to Domtron. You've blocked me on Discord and Facebook. What's this about? Anything? You're not helping anything by being quiet. If you're mad, just tell me. He called me up, and at this point I was desperate for an answer, so I didn't decline this time. I probably should have recorded this call in case Domtron said anything of note. However, he didn't, and what he said was short and sour. He mentioned how upset he was that I tried to get him removed from the league, and how tired he was of me having to step in and take control. And he just ended the call with telling me the much less child-friendly version of go away. I then said this in text form. Fair enough, I will. I would go on a tangent about this and that, but I'm not going to right now. I understand that you're mad, so I'll let you calm down, and then maybe we can work this out. For what Hangouts was doing, it looked like Domtron had seen that message, but he didn't block me. So I thought that this blocking was only a short-term thing, and there was some hope of getting Domtron to agree with me and Jay. It then occurred to me that I realized that Jay had told Domtron specifically that he was going to be released from the league at season's end. It then made sense of why Domtron flipped out so badly. Pretty childish reaction, but that's what you get with Domtron since he's essentially a man-child that takes things way too seriously. I then waited a couple hours to see if Domtron would calm down in that time, so then we could come to an agreement. After those couple hours, I said this. Okay, so it's been a little while. I don't know how long it takes for you to settle down about something like this. No pressure, of course. And I noticed that you unfriended me on Steam. I hope that this is only a short-term thing. That being said, should we talk about this today, or some other day? And about 15 minutes later, Domtron would respond in one of the worst ways possible. This is the text that would show Domtron's true colors, and the weird and screwed up person that he really is. Get a load of this one. Frony, there is no working this out. You screwed with the one thing that I was actually committed to, and I cannot forgive you for this. You're a complete jerk and I am not standing for it anymore. Sticks and stones have broke my bones, but these words will now heal me. Oh dearie dearie me, what a response. I'm pretty sure that you guys are now looking at Domtron like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? So before we move on with the story, I'm gonna have a little fun and break down this comment and respond to it, since I couldn't do that with Domtron since he blocked me after sending me this message. Frony, there is no working this out. Well, that's a very positive way of looking at this. Actually, there's 1,000,001 ways that we could have worked this out. For one, you could have just went along with Jay's decision to be released from the league, which you eventually did, as I found out from Jay later on, and it could have ended there, no more interfering from me. For another, you could have kept racing in the league, but me and Jay could have had a slightly better relationship to where Jay can't agree to what I want to do, and the world keeps spinning around. Those are the only two that I can think of right now, but there's a bunch of ways that this could have been worked out. So no, Domtron, there are a few ways that this could have been worked out, but you had to be a little man-child and block me instead. You screwed with the one thing that I was actually committed to. The fact that you were so committed to something so stupid and problematic goes to show your inability to think about the big picture. You were so committed to this mindless league that you dropped everything else around you to the point where it was the only thing that mattered. You showed next to no consideration for your friends, and even went as far as to deny your mom. Yeah, funny story that Domtron told me once. He was running a race, but then felt bad for his helpless mom, so only when she yelled at him, he went to help her out, and he was bummed about losing a spot in the race. And then Domtron got told off by his mom, and told him to not use his computer for a day. And oddly enough, I warned Domtron that this league was taking over his life, and told him to think it over. And you wanna know the best part about that? He got mad at me for this, and ignored me for a day. And then he told me how mad he was for me telling him to think about being in the league. And then he goes on to say that the league isn't actually affecting his life at all. If that doesn't tell you how inconsiderate Domtron is to those around him, I don't know what does. I can understand being so into something to the point where you drop everything, even I'm guilty of this, but to the point where you just straight up don't think about anyone else's feelings? Heck no. Even I have the decency to think about others before I make a decision that could impact those around me. Domtron can deny all he wants, but it's true. And I cannot forgive you for this. There were many signs that should have served as a warning to you, and make you realize that you being in the league was a bad idea. Don't forgive anyone, look at yourself. You are a complete jerk and I am not standing for it anymore. Oh yeah, I'm a complete jerk for continuously trying to get your head out of your rear end and make you realize what's going on around you. Like I literally just said, there were so many warnings to let you know that what you were doing was affecting those around you. You had so many chances to respond to those warnings, but because you are so absent-minded, it had to come to this for you to finally break away. You had many chances to save this, but you failed. So if I'm a jerk, then everyone's a jerk. Might as well delete all of your social media accounts and then exile yourself from the world if you're gonna act like this. This is absent-minded thinking and I can't stand absent-minded people. Sticks and stones have broke my bones. I'm assuming when you say sticks and stones, you mean the consequences of what's come of being inconsiderate of others. I'm going to say this one more time. You had many opportunities to prevent the situation from getting as bad as it did, and you failed on every home run because of how absent-minded you are. But these words will now heal me. By words that will supposedly heal you, I hope you don't mean the words I use in this message, because these are some bad words to be healed by. So now you're implying that you're going to continue to be inconsiderate of others and drop everything in favor of what you commit to next? Thank goodness you're not a real racing driver. That being said, when you eventually get your computer networking job and earn $9,000 a year, that will only spell disaster. And that concludes the response to this message. There's not much left of the story, actually. After Domtron sent me that message, he blocked me on Hangouts, so at this point I now have no way of contacting Domtron. Later that night, I received this message from Jay. Okay, Domtron has left the league. Please keep your end of the deal. I'ma block you so we don't ever have contact. See you around. Yeah, I might not be keeping my end of the deal as far as keeping this story a secret, as I feel the need to get this story public, and I don't regret a single thing I said in that video. So we come to now. Domtron is gone, Jay is out of the equation, I think, and now there's a void in Top Gear 2.0 that needs to be filled. With that being said, here's my plan. In our group, Domtron used to be the James May of our group. Instead of leaving the void empty, never to be filled, I'm going to be seeking a replacement. I already have a few guys in mind, one in particular that I'm going to be trying out starting this week. With this change in person, comes some change in my YouTube projects. As you guys know, Domtron has had quite a part in some of the projects that I've worked on this channel. The big two, however, are the NRL leagues and Bill and Ted. In regards to the NRL leagues, as you may or may not know, Domtron competed for a championship in the Siemens National Series in the 2018-19 season. The plan after that season was for Domtron to run for points in the Skills Cup Series long term. There was also a plan for him to run part-time in the Siemens National Series and run part-time for his own team in the Goldfish Truck Series. And finally, he was also going to compete for a championship in the 2013 IROC Series. As you can tell, I had a lot of things lined up for Domtron. Shame that none of those things are going to be happening now. With that being said, here's what's going to happen instead. For the 2020-21 season, the Toban Motorsports team in the Skills Cup Series will be fielding 2 cars now, of Freunde Bobbin and Russell David. In the Siemens National Series, there was a plan to field a second car for part-time drivers. This plan can now go 2 ways. Originally, the second part-time car was going to be numbered 53 and be driven by Domtron and Russell, and eventually be handed over to Texas once the chase/playoffs began. Now though, the first way that this can go is that Texas moves over to the over 9000 car, the second part-time car is renumbered to 124, and the drivers are set Russell and whoever the replacement is. That's if the replacement only wants to run part-time for his first season. If the replacement wants to run full-time, however, Toban Motorsports will field a third full-time car, and Russell can drive the over 9000 car in select races. I'll come out with the final details once the 2020-21 NRL season is right around the corner. Trust me, I've been working on it. As for the Goldfish Truck Series, originally I planned for Domtron to field 2 part-time trucks. I won't get into the bits and bobs of the driver lineup, since now, this isn't happening at all. And as for the 2013 IROC Series, I will simply be taking Domtron out of the roster and getting someone else to take his spot. Again, I'll announce who that someone is once the season is right around the corner. And now, for the Bill and Ted Series. I'm sure that a lot of you guys are curious to know about this one. You will more than likely already know this, but Domtron has been the voice of Bill since the start of the series. That is now going to change. Bill and Ted Season 4 is still going to happen, but Bill will have a new voice. To acknowledge Bill's new voice, I'll be making a one-off Bill and Ted short called Bill's New Voice. I already have an idea of what the story is going to be. It's not going to be anything super special, just a glimpse into the future. 2 more things. I'll be doing a talk show soon about my experience with Domtron over the past 3 years that we were together. I was originally going to include a bit about that in this video, but writing up the script for that bit is getting super tedious, and I think I can talk about it unscripted and live on the air. At this point, there's so much to talk about with Domtron that I could do a whole talk show about it. Also, in regards to the video titled The Biggest Snowflake of a Racing League Owner Ever, I have now set that video to unlisted so you can watch the video via the link in the description below. And in a month, I'll be setting that video to public once again. And that pretty much covers everything. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave in the comment section below and I'll respond as soon as possible. With that being said, I hope you guys got a new perspective into what's been going on. Once I do my talk show, I'll be moving on from this, and I'll announce the replacement soon. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in whatever I make next.